so I'm going to introduce you to FRONK, our work truck. It's been in the family for a while now. It was my daily driver for quite some time. Simple, reliable, and effective, and cheap transport. So I'm going to walk you around and give you an idea of what he's all about. So, it's a 1994 Ford F150, single cab with full-size bed. Straight 6, 300 cubic inch, so it's a 4.9 liter, which, fun fact, even if you got the V8 for this year, that would be a 302, so you get an extra 2 cubic inches with the V8. So yeah, this thing is just, you know, stout, reliable. It's handled everything we've thrown at it so far. So when we got the vehicle, it came from up north. I want to say Missouri, but I might end up correcting that. So it does have some rust, which is, you know, to be expected. But honestly, it was 2,000 bucks, and this is a lot of truck for 2,000 bucks.
All right, so today we're going to be doing the ignition service on the truck. That involves, I think it's going to be basically a distributor cap, ignition leads, a new set of spark plugs, ignition coil, and the ignition module. You know, condition of these are unknown in the truck, and we just really want to give it a little bit of a new lease of life and a little bit of love after the last few years we've had it. So with that, we'll get started kind of tearing into the truck, and then we'll touch back on the progress a little bit later.
Okay, so we just finished up the main ignition service for FRONK, our 1994 F150. This is the 300 cubic inch straight 6 engine, which has been fantastic. So basically, step by step is super simple. You'll want to remove the intake tubes that connect from the airbox here into the throttle body. It's easy, just 2 hose clamps on either end, pulls right out. Then you want to remove, actually during that same process, this little bung from the valve cover there, just to let you move this hose out of the way, because it'll be, you know, in your business otherwise. Once those 2 things are out of the way, we also actually recommended disconnecting the battery as well, just to make it a little safer while you're working on it, because this is the ignition system. It doesn't hurt to take that extra step. Once that was done, we removed the old cap, but we left all of the leads still attached to it. So we basically undid the 2 screws on either side and lifted it up and out of the way. We checked the rotor, which was definitely burned and out of whack, so we replaced that with the new one that came with the kit. We then put the new cap on and screwed it back down. We did have to move this hose just a little bit. It looks like the old cap had actually pinched it slightly, where the new one, now we've made sure it seats properly and everything like that. We then also replaced the ignition coil, which, let's see if I can get down in here, is this little square guy here, right in here. And basically, just removed this plug, which took a little bit of finagling with a screwdriver to lift up the tab on the far side here. And then I actually just used some needle nose pliers, grabbed that and popped it out. It came out pretty easy. Once that was done, with the new cap in place, we started removing the leads from the engine side one by one, and basically put the engine side of the first lead on, and then checked the old cap, saw where it went, made sure we put it on there, and so on and so forth for the remaining 5 leads. And if you use that method, you don't have to worry about making sure your ignition sequence is correct, because you're following the old cap and the old rotor, or sorry, making sure the new rotor arm is in the same direction as the old rotor arm. And as long as you did that, it should spring back to life. So we're gonna give it a test. Just gonna put the intake tubes back on and connect up the last little bits here, and hopefully she fires right up and is happier than ever. Don't forget to put this guy back in as well, and we are all good. All right, so we got the old module out. It was 2 8mm bolts to get the main heatsink out from underneath here. The module itself is attached to the heatsink with 2 5.5mm bolts, and you're going to need a deep socket to get that. So actually had to run and get one of those to finish the job. But the new module comes with this heatsink grease as well, which just helps the thermal conductivity between the two. And it's interesting, looking at the old one, it looks like there was none or almost none of that on there, so we're wondering if potentially the thing maybe just burned out over time or something like that. So, but basically at this point, we're just going to finish getting this greased up, reattach the module to the heatsink, reattach the heatsink to the truck, plug her back in, and hopefully she'll fire up.